So today I am going for a walk, and one of my goals is to collect garlic mustard. And it is one plant that I have absolutely no reservations about harvesting as much whenever, because it is an invasive plant that is extremely difficult to get rid of. It actually has 2 years growth, and its first year looks different than the second year. And it also has seed pods that explode into lots of tiny seeds that can lay dormant for extra years. So not every seed automatically grows, which makes it fantastically difficult to remove. So right in here is a patch of first year garlic mustard. That would be this leaf right here. Second year looks a lot different. You go down in here. You can pull out this bit, and the root smells and tastes a bit like horseradish. These leaves have a very strong cabbage flavor with a hint of garlic, whereas the taller second year has more garlic and mustard flavor than cabbage. I am going to be harvesting some here if I can get down to the roots, because right now what I want are the roots. Moving over here, this is what the second year of garlic mustard looks like. And as you can see, there are some first year plants growing right next to it. And when they're a bit bigger, they end up with roots that do this weird little S thing. And the roots of the second year plant, this one didn't do it too much, but the roots of the second year plant do not taste as strongly of horseradish as the first year ones do. And as I said earlier, I have absolutely no problem harvesting a whole bunch of these because they are invasive and they are very determined to exist. Nice little S shape there. And just pulling them up, I can smell the horseradish smell. It's very strong on the first year plant. On the second year plant, not so much. I've got a nice little batch there, and I'm gonna continue to harvest as many of the larger first year plants as I can, because the small ones just rip out by the root. These, like this little one, if I try to pull that out, it's just gonna snap and the root stays in, which does no good. Also going to come over here and pull up this second year plant. Now you can see that the leaf has changed from that to this. And it's the same plant. It has a 2-year life cycle. The second year looks completely different. And if you're not sure what you're looking for, it makes it even harder to get rid of the whole thing. And like I said earlier, the seeds can lay dormant for years. So while you may not see the active plant life, it doesn't mean that they're not still an issue. Okay, as you can see, we are back here with our mustard trees. And everything needs to get washed. As you can see, while I was harvesting, there were also a bunch of plants that aren't part of the garlic mustard that ended up getting harvested. So, cleaning them off is a good thing. Alrighty. Now, cut these right there, separating the roots. And they smell so strongly of horseradish, which I think is fantastic. I mean, you can make a horsey sauce, and the first thing that pops into my mind is a roast beef sandwich. But I'm sure there's other uses and such. But that is the absolute first thing that pops into my mind. I'm not going to use, this is the second year one. I'm not going to use the roots from it because it does not have the same scent, and it just, it's such a weird smell. Like, you can smell the faintest touch of horseradish. And when you taste it, it's not there. All I can taste, at any rate, I'm sure somebody might be able to taste the horseradish if they're super sensitive to it, but the only thing I can taste is the garlic. I've got all these leaves, which I feel are gonna make a good salad. Might even make a pesto out of. And then come the second year plants. And as you can see, the leaves kind of wilted really fast. And I think they're just that delicate, but and they still have their flavor. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to the top of the plant first, and I'm going to separate the seed pods. I want to take the seed pods and make a like a stir fry out of them. I'm thinking if you do like a quick boil and blanch method, they'll be tastier, because as they are right now, they're pretty bitter. They're not tasty. That's my cluster of roots from the first year plants. First year plants are going to go into a salad. This is all the seed pods from the top of the plant. Now, you can sort of see the bumps, and there are, each plant can throw off thousands of seeds. So when these open up, they just explode, or the initial opening, they're also kind of sticky. So if deer walk past them, they'll get stuck on their fur, and then, or hikers' pants, they'll get stuck, and as they dry, they drop somewhere else, which is what makes them such a difficult plant to deal with. So I'm going to cut these into more manageable pieces. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to pop the seeds right off the main stalk. Haha, it works. All right, nice and easy way to peel them off. All right, it does work. Yay. So grab the top little batch, pull. They'll pop off, and then you can just pull the rest off. Same thing you do with thyme and rosemary and oregano when you've got fresh. So I am just going to give them a quick boil, and then once they are done, I'm gonna I'm thinking to treat them kind of like green beans and saute them with some butter and garlic. And yes, in case anybody was wondering, I love garlic. Now that they are boiling, you take them off. The steam actually has a slightly nutty scent to it, and I am drain. There they are. Now back over here. And add a little bit of butter. And a touch of salt. A touch of pepper. That nutty flavor or smell is still there, which I was not expecting. It's actually rather pleasant. It's kind of like a toasted nut flavor, a smell, not flavor, smell. Let's see what they taste like. Honestly, they kind of taste like green beans. Problem is, they are so skinny and spiky. The immediate texture when you're biting into them is not particularly pleasant. It kind of feels like you're going to be chewing on twigs. Next time I collect, I'll add to this, but I kind of feel like they're going to need to be boiled a lot longer than I did initially. Tastes good though. All right, everybody. We have collected the garlic mustard, and I'm sorry, garlic mustard I find very frustrating because of how invasive and difficult it is to take care of, to get rid of. It is safe to eat. I do want to caution that if you're going to be having it in large quantities, and I mean like large, like if you are intending to make it a staple of your regular cooking, like it's going to be a part of everything you cook, this is when you're going to want to start to boil it. It does have mild cyanogenic glycosides, which are going to affect your heart and such. But they're very low. If you were to have it like once in, like if you had one salad with it in it, you're fine. but like I'm talking if you're having this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's a side for everything that you eat, then you're going to want to start to boil it and make sure it is heated in some fashion. Boiling is best because then you can discard it, leaches into the water, and then you can discard the water. But all right, so the young leaves and the blossoms, the seed pods, they can all be chopped, steamed, or boiled. And as I showed you, there are two stages of life for the plant. In regards to its invasiveness, it is highly invasive. So the thankfully it doesn't spread by root, but the seed pods, which I showed you, they release thousands of tiny seeds, and those seeds can lay dormant. They do not need to be, immediately grown. And then you get the first year where the plant leaves look completely different to the second year plant, and it grows completely different. So the first year is a low ground covering leaf, like you saw, and then in the second year it turns into this tall. I've seen a couple that are almost 4 feet tall in my yard that I've had to pull. Um, and it is a long, drawn out, ongoing process. Um, I was not able to find information on exactly how long the seeds can remain dormant, but there were estimations of 5 years or more. So that's a really long time to be dealing with this stubborn invasive plant. Um, it does not have any poisonous lookalikes, which is good. That makes it very easy to identify. Um, it has a lot of vitamins A and C, and it um, it was brought over from Europe for culinary and medicinal purposes. And historically, for medicinal purposes, it was used for antiseptic and wound health. They would crush the leaves and apply it to the injuries. Um, Respiratory help. It was an expectorant, which is to get rid of the phlegm and gunk. And that would be made into a juice or a tea for that purpose. The fresh greens were used for digestive and liver aid. And you could also crush the leaf and rub it on your skin to help with bug bites. And then to help with fevers, they would also add it in as a juice or a tea to help you sweat it out. I'm sure everybody's heard that phrase. You got to sweat out the sickness. So it was used as a to help with fevers and sweat, but also as a diuretic, which means you're going to the bathroom a lot. Um, you know, when you have a ton of coffee or caffeine in general. Um, Also, the uh, the plant itself releases uh, compounds into the ground, which are limiting, stopping, or outright killing native plant life, which is also not great. Um, and also, so it was brought over from Europe in the 1800s. It has no natural predators here. So in Europe, it has insects and fungi that regularly feed on it. And those do not exist here, which is why it is so problematic and so big of an issue, because there's nothing like, I don't, I can't even say that I've seen deer eat it. And for an animal that loves to eat things that are supposed to be deer resistant when the populations are high. Um, like, for them not to touch it is weird. Um, so this is one: harvest away. Harvest, harvest, harvest. Make it disappear. All right, everyone, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.